Hi, guys. Okay, I'm going to give it a minute for everyone to be able to see this on YouTube. And in the meantime, let me just pop it onto Facebook. I know it takes a second usually for people to be able to see. And so I don't want to dive right in until y'all are with me. All right. Hold up. Um, Okie dokie. So just checking one other thing that I can actually see myself. One of these days, there I am. One of these days, there will be an easier way to discover if you're live than having to go through all this. Okay, so we are live. So welcome, guys. I am super excited to be with you today. It is the day before my birthday. It is the month where Lula May Design, my first business, turns 5 years old. And I decided before I head off to the beach to go do some relaxing for the week that I wanted to go ahead and birth this new project, which is the live video podcast. So those of you guys who've been with me for a while know I've been toying with the idea of having a podcast. Do I do it on YouTube and somewhere else? Do I just put it on iTunes? What should it be about? All of these things, because I am an ideas human. I love ideas, and sometimes it's hard to really bring the ideas to fruition when there's so many, and I don't know what's going to suit you guys best, because the whole point of me showing up is to help the community, to help you guys heal and grow. So I have finally come to the balanced, grounded realization that what I need to do is continue to grow on YouTube, to continue to show up here in this space. And so that's what I am doing. I am going to run the podcast weekly. It's going to be live and it's going to be on YouTube. Don't know if it'll be Tuesdays at noon. That I'm going to work out when I get back from my birthday. But I will be here live on YouTube. There will be a playlist of it, and it will be weekly. So the heal and grow aspect of this comes from where I was when I started my business 5 years ago, Lula May Design, and everything that I learned since then. That has become the core of the message that I want to share, that you absolutely can heal on an emotional, physical, spiritual level, and you have the ability to grow a life you love. It is, in fact, your responsibility to grow a life you love. So what I wanted to come with today to share with you guys is the fact of what I've learned over these past 5 years as a healer and an entrepreneur. What are the lessons I could give you as a human, as a creative person, as a person with goals, or as an entrepreneur that would be able to help you and be able to help you stand on the shoulders of my experiences. So that's how I want to start out the podcast, with some of the basics. So if you don't know me yet, if this is your first time meeting me, I'm Erin Holland. I am the owner of Ivy and Light Wellness Community. I am also the creator, jewelry designer behind Lula May Design. I started Lula May Design in 2016 in the midst of a lot of physical, emotional, mental, spiritual turmoil. And I started that business as a way out. I started it as a way to be able to take some more control back in my life. And as I mentioned in the email, if you guys get my email, it was my moment of saying, I deserve better. I can have better. I believe that if I draw this line in the sand and I say, the bad stops here, I'm ready to move forward, I'm ready to be the creator instead of the reactor to my world. That was one of the things of me planting my flag in the sand and saying, I deserve to be able to have a creative outlet. I deserve to be able to run a business myself and to really feel fulfilled and to feel like I'm helping people and not just being a cog in a wheel. So that was the jewelry part of my business. In 2018, I started Ivy and Light. That came from this years-long frustration. So 2018, that would have been 12 years of being someone who had been sick and had been exhausted and had this long litany of things wrong with me, but nobody knew what they were. And in about 2006, I started really taking control of my physical health and doing research on my own and deciding not, woo, that's the first time I've ever sneezed live. That's hilarious. I started really um, researching myself instead of just saying, okay, the adults, the doctors are telling me what's wrong with me or telling me they don't know. And at this point, I was in college. And so it's like, it's really on me. So I changed my entire diet. I lost a bunch of weight. I stopped having to take allergy medicines, stopped taking as much asthma medicine. I had more energy, all of these things. And from that point on, I've been an avid health researcher. And it was in 2015 that I started adding the emotional research into that. So through all of this, guys, it is nuts to me that there's not one spot on the internet where you can find all of this information. Why is there not a place where you can go learn about all of your natural health options and then decide what you want to do and then dive more into that? Why is there not a place where you can learn about crystals and oils and meditation and yoga and mindfulness and acupuncture and all of these things, salt caves? Why can't you learn about all of your options in a spot and then go dive into the ones that fit your lifestyle and your goals? It didn't exist in 2018 or late 2017. It didn't exist. I searched for months, and then I finally just said, well, I'm either gonna baby about it and say, oh, well, it doesn't exist, or I'm going to make it exist. So that was what created Ivy and Light. It is still the core of my goal to help make wellness affordable and accessible for all, to be able to get at all of your options, that smorgasbord, then decide what works for you. So if you have followed me here on YouTube, if you're in my Facebook group, you guys know I talk about a lot of stuff because nobody else is doing that, is giving you all of these options. And as we move forward with Ivy and Light, I want to continue this thing I've been talking about for forever of having these healing mentors, introducing you to people who are experts on these different categories so that you can interact more with them one-on-one to learn the particular things you want to do. I myself, as you know, I'm the crystals and oils expert. We've got the crystals and oils course. We've got the intro to crystals course. We've got the meditation course. So I'm in my lane, but I want to bring you the people that are doing great things in their healing lane and help them to help you. So that is the 5-year recap. And hi, Joanne. Hi, how are you? Thank you for joining me. Greetings from Alberta. Cool. We're going to get to Canada as soon as the border opens up. I keep promising myself. So that's the nutshell of the past 5 years of Lula May Design and Ivy and Light. I have a lot of experience running other people's businesses before that, working for companies like Guitar Center and Trader Joe's, and working in Manhattan and all of these high stress environments. And when I moved into my own business, I was very intentional about not bringing that stress with me into my business. I was going to have the business I wanted, not the business that felt awful, like it feels to work for some of these other companies. So here are my 5 takeaways. I'm promising myself I will not make these podcasts super duper long like my workshops. So I'm going to try to keep these in a nutshell for you guys. And then join the Facebook group. If you want me to go into more detail on any of these points, join the Facebook group, leave a comment. I'm going to pop that up for you guys. This is the Facebook group. Facebook.com/group/Ivy and Light, or just go in there and type in Heal and Grow and you'll find us. All right. So takeaway number 1. This was the earliest one. I kind of did these in order. I am responsible for my happiness. Me. There's nobody else who's responsible to make me happy. At that point in my life, I was married. That was not a source of happiness. I was improving my status in the job that I was in. That was not a source of happiness. My friends were not a source of happiness. My family was not a source of happiness. There was nothing outside of me that was giving me happiness. And I was crumbling because I didn't understand yet that it was nobody's job but mine. Once I began to realize this, actually, in some cases, there were people in my sphere that wanted to hurt me and were doing a great job of it. I realized I am giving power to people who are not supposed to care for me as much as I'm supposed to care for me. I'm me. If I don't have my back, who will, right? And so I learned, first of all, that I have the responsibility. And second of all, a few other things about what that means with my relationship with other people. So I'm going to give you those points really quickly. I read a book called 7 Habits for Highly Successful People by Stephen Covey. And one of the first things in this book, and I'd heard this talked about, as a teenager, but I understood it at this point. The difference between codependence and independence and interdependence. So I was in a codependent marriage, a marriage where neither one of us was taking responsibility for our own happiness. And we were, in fact, blaming each other for our unhappiness. And I was in a codependent relationship with my job. I mean, I wanted my job to be giving me more than it was meant to give. And nobody else at my job was really good at being their own, holding themselves accountable. And I learned that first you have to be independent. You have to say, I take responsibility for my own life. And only after you've done that can you move on into interdependence. That's the type of relationships you want to have in life, in business, with family. Balanced, healthy, and cooperation, collaboration, but not hierarchy and not trying to get other people to fulfill you, right? So you don't want to be a loner. You don't want to be totally where people have not made me happy and therefore I don't want to be around people. That's not health, right? But you want to be able to be around people and be responsible for your own energy. And so I like to think of it as dancing. I took dancing lessons in college. And one of the things they teach you is even the woman, you're not leading, but you have to be holding yourself up fully. You can't be leaning on your partner. They can't be dragging you around the floor. You can't be dragging them around the floor. In dancing, both people have to be holding their own space. Then you can create balance. Then you create beauty. Then you create this elegance that we see on the dance floor. And the last thing, and this kind of led me into my path of being a manifesting coach, realizing that what I believe will happen, I will attract. If I'm fearful, I will attract the source of my fear into my life. I will attract things to going wrong if I believe things will go wrong. So I have to take responsibility for my own happiness. That was lesson number 1. And if you have not done that yet, that is where to start. The next thing is I define my success. I define my success. So if I'm taking responsibility for my own happiness, it makes sense that I would get to choose what I want to do with my life, but also that I would need to let go of what other people have told me I needed to do. So when you're a child, your parents give you instructions about how to be successful in life. When you're in school, your teachers tell you how to be successful in life. Maybe you're in college, maybe they're telling you how to get a job, how to be successful in life. When you're in a job, they're telling you how to be successful in life. Once you take responsibility, you have to ask yourself, which of these lessons, life lessons, actually apply to me, and which am I just following because an adult, an authority figure, someone I looked up to told me. So things like, you have to work hard to make a living. That is defining success as I will be successful when I feel exhausted, when I've worked myself to the bone. I don't want to feel exhausted. I don't want to work myself to the bone. And so I have to redefine my success being I will have what I want out of my business and I will be at peace. But until you redefine that, you're just going on the path of what you've always done because that's what people always told you to do. So I'm responsible for how I want to feel. Do I want to feel respected? Do I want to feel loved? Do I want to feel appreciated? Do I want to feel supported? Do I want to feel safe? Do I want to feel adventurous? I get to choose that, nobody else. And then what is my purpose? I get to choose what I'm here to do. Am I here to inspire people? Am I here to teach people? Am I here to help people laugh? Am I here to entertain? Am I here to comfort? Am I here to create? I get to decide that, right? Nobody can make you, and this is a business thing. People tell you, get on social media, do live videos, do a live podcast on YouTube. If you are not built for that, you don't have to do that in order to succeed. You can quietly create. But if you're like me and you love, 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 love to get on and talk to the camera, knowing someone is on the other side, then to just sit there quietly and write a blog is just not going to work, right? So how do I want to feel? What is my purpose? And what would I stop doing if I didn't have to do it? So what in my business, what in my life, what in my relationships, if someone gave me permission to just cut it out, what would I cut out? I'm just going to let that one sink in and we'll move on. What would I stop doing if I didn't feel I had to do it? That lets you know what baggage you're carrying around that's somebody else's definition of success. All right, the third thing, the power of community. I learned this very quickly by realizing what a blessing it was to disconnect from toxicity. When I got out of my marriage, when I got disconnected from his entire circle of toxic people, when I removed myself from the stress of a job that was not working for me and that was not aligned with really my belief on how we succeed through being calm. And once I removed myself from that, I realized the negative effect that my community was having on me. Then as I disconnected from that, I left open a space for people that were like-minded. So I began to draw into my life through my friends, through a new relationship, and then through my business, through my customers and my peers, people who aligned with me. And therefore we support each other. We understand each other. We want each other to succeed. We're encouraging. And if you don't have that community, you are lugging your goals up that hill by yourself. And so this is independence versus interdependence. Cooperation, support from other people will get you there faster. That's what I learned. Trying to do it all yourself is a recipe for a slow and more painful way of reaching goals. So what does it mean to be in a community that is truly supportive? I believe that the most important thing for healthy relationships is trust, respect, and then love. You need to be able to trust that you are accepted the way that you are, that if I show up as Erin, wearing what I want to wear, saying what I want to say, being how I want to be with the energy that I naturally have, that I'll be accepted in that community. And that doesn't mean I don't want to grow. But if you are in a community where you need to change yourself to fit in, that is not a good foundation for a supportive relationship. Then after trust, respect, right? Respect where people are on their journey, respect their own growth path, respect their beliefs, their thoughts, ask them what they feel, not telling them what they should feel. Then love, that is how you grow a true friendship, a true relationship, is to be able to be yourself. And then that allows that love to flow, right? So if you don't have this community yet, again, I'm going to invite you guys right down there in the corner to join the Facebook group. It's also in the description. I have it in all of my descriptions of my videos. The Ivy and Light group on Facebook. It is a place to make wellness affordable and accessible. It is for anyone on any part of their journey. It's not that you have to know a certain amount. It's not that you have to have a certain energy. It's not that you have to believe a certain thing. I'm there to educate. I'm there to start conversations. I'm there to answer questions. I'm not there to tell you how to be, right? And that's really important to me. So please feel free to join us over there. I would love to have you. That is, if you don't have a community, that's going to be a huge missing piece in your manifesting journey and you're reaching your goals. The fourth thing that I learned, the importance of aligning in life and business. I've hinted at this a little bit. I was in a business where strength, physical strength, because it was a retail job and we moved a lot of heavy stuff. physical strength, stamina, um, working hard, staying late, being tired. All of those things were valued. You would move up based on how exhausted you were and how frustrated you were, not on how well you did the job, not on how you could accomplish things without even lifting a finger, because that was not, you weren't working as hard, but everything is getting done and everyone's happy and everyone's calm. That's what we want. We want people to be in an environment where they feel safe, loved, happy, joyful, um, cared for, supported. We don't want people to be feeling that they're pushed to their limit. But that happens in a lot of workspaces. And so for me, when I created Lula May Design, and then when I created Ivy and Light, I was from the beginning saying, okay, how can I have a business that I love, but also be manifesting that success with grace and speed and ease? Y'all have heard me say this over and over again. Grace and speed and ease. That is so important, because to me, that is how I want to feel. I'm above anything else. I want to feel calm. I want to feel at peace. I want to feel grounded. I want to feel connected to my universe, connected to nature. So aligning my life and my business allows me to do that in several ways. One, you only have 24 hours to accomplish everything that you want. So every single day, you get a limited amount of hours. And the more in alignment your to-do list and your passions are, the more you're enjoying accomplishing that to-do list. So I really, really firmly believe that you should create a business around something you're passionate about, that makes you feel joyful, that makes you feel fulfilled, that makes you feel whatever it is you want to feel, right? Again, you define success. And if you have a passion, even if it's a hobby, that you create a business around that. And I don't mean that you work on it 24 hours a day. I don't mean that you run it as your only source of income, but I do believe that your passions can be monetized. And that way, when you're monetizing your passion, you have the ability to spend more time on it, because it is bringing something back. It's bringing something into the pot instead of just taking away from what you're making. So if you're making money at work and spending it on your hobby, you're just spending it. If you're spending it on your business, it's coming back to you, right? So it's a dual. I think everybody should have an outlet, and I think that they should all be businesses. That's my personal opinion. And and if you have a business, it should be something that you love. And then the other side of this is that you have a life, and your life is complex. Your business message is a core business message, but your life is complex. And so sharing your life with your audience enables them to see you as a human, and it gives you a lot more touch points to all of the other areas in life that you may be in alignment with them, but they wouldn't have known otherwise. So you guys will see on my Instagram and on the new YouTube shorts, you'll see me rock climbing. You'll see me meditating. You'll see me going to the beach, drinking wine, all the things that I love to do. I share it because that is vulnerability on my part, sharing my life, but it's also allowing you to connect with me on deeper levels besides just align with the universe and manifest with grace and speed and ease and say the same thing over and over again. You get to see what I mean by that in my real life, right? And then, so all of that leads me to where I am right now in this part of my business, which is a place I've wanted to be for a long time. And that is starting a new Facebook group that's open to anyone, that focuses on that aligning and strategizing in your business. So if you have a hobby that you want to make some money on, or if you run a business, helping you to figure out how to do, and because I get this feedback all the time, Erin, how do you do so many things? How are you a nomad? How have you gone all over the US? How do you have so many hobbies? How do you stay healthy all the time? And you're running a business? Well, it's because it's aligned. It's because there's Venn diagrams of what I love and how I show up in my business. And so that makes my life so much easier and more joyful. So if you're interested in support in that area of your life, that is what my new Facebook, Align and Strategize a Biz You Love. That's for that. And you can go to that link right there, or you can just type in Align and Strategize on Facebook and it will pop up. So I'm going to leave you guys with the big lesson of 2020 for me. So I had learned through traveling, through our nomad life and our trailer going out west, spending most of 2019 on the road, I had realized that I needed to release control. I always wanted to know where we're going to be 5 days from now. How are we going to get there? What time? What's our timetable? When am I going to post things online? Blah, 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 blah. Running a business and traveling. And I was stressing myself out, and I had to learn, and it took me all year to learn it, to release control, to say, hey, it's going to be fine. It'll get done. I don't know what it's going to look like, but we're going to have fun. And how are we going to have fun? Because I'm not going to be stressed. So releasing control and being able to be flexible, but at the same time, I have a tendency to set boundaries around myself to say, okay, well, if I expect only this little from life, if I only need this much physical space, if I only need this much money, then I get to do what I want with my life. If I don't expect too much, then I won't fail. And so as 2020 set in and we were in one spot and not able to move, and then we moved back to Brooklyn, and then we got a tiny studio hoping we get to move again. And I was just physically confined and also emotionally and mentally confined because I just thought, it's unstable times. I don't know what risk I should take. And I became bottled up in a way that was not healthy. I'm just going to go with the flow for 2020 in a way that meant I was really settling. So this last lesson is going with the flow versus settling. If you feel frustrated and you realize you're frustrated just because you have anxiety about the future and you need to release that, that's going with the flow. If you're frustrated and that frustration, when you ask yourself, and this is the important question, why am I frustrated? If the answer is because I feel that my needs are not being met, because I feel that I'm not living in my purpose, because I feel that my environment is not conducive to me doing my best work, if it's something that is not in alignment with you living a life you love, you achieving your goals, and it can be changed, then if you don't change it, you're settling. And that I had to realize by settling, I was keeping myself from succeeding. And so I had to say, okay, you know what? We're getting a bigger space. We're making a space where I can do my recordings. We're making a space where it's easier to make my jewelry. We got a second car so that we could leave the rig here and we could go out and enjoy it. And we made a bunch of decisions so that no matter what's happening, we're still able to enjoy ourselves. And as soon as I realized I still have choices here, it's okay to take some risks. It's okay to have faith in the future. That was just a giant weight off of my chest. It was a giant relief, and it made life so much more enjoyable. So I would encourage you to ask yourself, if you have frustration in an area of life, is it because I need to learn to go with the flow, or is it because I've been settling? So those are my 5 lessons that I have learned over my past 5 years as a healer, as an entrepreneur, and I guess I should note, as a nomad. I've learned a lot from that too. So guys, leave any questions that you have. Thank you to everyone who joined me live. Jumping on here at the last minute as I let you guys know that I was starting this today. I appreciate you all. If you are in my community, know that I love you, that I accept you where you are in your journey, and that I'm excited to be part of that growth for you. And if you haven't joined our community yet, please do so. We would love to have you. I'll add the link below for the Align and Strategize group so that you can easily get to that. And if you have not yet, please please comment, subscribe on this video. And if you're a subscriber already, but you haven't hit the bell that says get all notifications from this channel, you're not going to know when I come live for the next podcast. You're not going to know when I upload the next video. So you're going to be missing out. So make sure that you click that bell so that you're getting the notifications. All right, guys, whatever you do interacting with this channel, I just want to send you this message. It's a huge help to me to continue to grow on YouTube, which will allow me to continue to grow the business. This is my main effort. This is where I show up the most. So help me out with those likes and comments and subscribes. Thank you. I love you. I appreciate you. Go treat yourself to something special today. We're doing a self-care challenge over in the Facebook group. Come join us for that. Love you very much, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.